New information on last night's Jefferson City double homicide is raising red flags. Police arrested the key suspect, 27-year-old Brandon Rapier, about 11 o'clock this morning. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jim Reek.
And I'm Brittany Pieper. Police say Rapier was sent to the hospital with what seemed to be self-inflicted wounds. He's in fair condition. KOMU 8's Lauren Barnes spent the day in Jefferson City and is live there now with the chilling twists and turns of this investigation.
I spoke to police at noon today during a press conference, but Captain Doug Shoemaker was only allowed to release very limited information in this ongoing investigation. So I spent the day trying to get to know Brandon Rapier, who police say they found near these woods earlier today, as well as possible. What I dug up is a dark glimpse into his past.
Investigators began investigating this last night at approximately 7:30 in the 100 block of Grant Street, where it was reported we had two persons that were down in the area outside of a residence.
But the motive behind the case could date back as far as 2014. A quick Google search on Rapier's name returns this result from KOMU 2 years back. He was charged with second-degree assault for stabbing his ex-girlfriend's new boyfriend, who survived the attack. And yet just 3 days ago posted this to his Facebook page. If you caught your friend that you would never betray in bed with your ex that you loved to absolute death, what would you do? But police say it's too soon to comment on whether the 2014 attack and this one are related.
Our agency has a history of making sure we know what we say before we say it, and we believe that's fair to all families and all persons involved.
Another disturbing forewarning, a post from Monday that says, "Me wanting to stab people through the phone. Stab, stab, stab."
The victims who were down at the scene were suffering from very critical wounds. They were taken by EMS and fire personnel and later pronounced deceased.
Rapier has faced a string of other charges in the past 5 years, most recently second-degree assault for the 2014 stabbing case. On May 6, 2015, Rapier was sentenced to 3 years incarceration at the Department of Corrections. Not only was Rapier out of prison when yesterday's double homicide happened, a neighbor told me Rapier actually works for the prison in Jefferson City. Rapier's disturbing Facebook posts ended yesterday morning with him writing, "I am judge, jury, and my favorite, executioner." Captain Doug Shoemaker told me police will bring Rapier back to the police department for questioning after he is released from the hospital. That means right now Rapier has not been officially charged with murder. We will of course keep you updated as we find more details in this investigation. Reporting live in Jefferson City, Lauren Barnes, KOMU 8 News.
Columbia police say 3 crimes happened within 30 minutes of each other early last night.
KOMU 8's Emma Reckenberg joins us in the studio with the details on yesterday's 2 robberies and 1 attempted robbery.
CPD is still trying to identify 2 suspects described in 3 different incidents. Suspects took one woman's purse as she was walking home on Paw Print Lane. 15 minutes later, the suspects then took 2 men's wallets around Clark Lane and Eastwood Drive. And just 10 minutes after that, suspects attempted to rob a woman around her home on Sapphire Court. Now, I spoke with the husband of the victim on Sapphire Court, and he says he believes his wife was randomly targeted. He says he was shocked to hear his wife was held at gunpoint in their neighborhood and was restless following the incident.
I just went for a walk. I was thinking maybe I can lure him in. Things would have, been a little different if that would have been me, and not my wife.
One public relations officer with CPD says CPD has spoken with the victims and canvassed the neighborhoods. At this time, no vehicle description is available, and the investigation is ongoing. In the studio, Emma Reckenberg, KOMU 8 News.
President Barack Obama and President-elect Donald Trump met at the White House today. President Obama said his administration wants to do everything it can to help Trump succeed so the country can succeed. Trump said he's looking forward to dealing with the president in the future. The meeting in the Oval Office lasted about 90 minutes. Trump then spent the afternoon with Republican congressional leaders on Capitol Hill. In the wake of the election, protesters are filling the streets again today across the country, groups marching both in support and against President-elect Trump. Thousands spilled into the streets from Los Angeles to New York. Protesters burned flags in Oakland and Chicago, and in Houston, they battered a Donald Trump piñata. Others are gathering to support the president-elect. Anti-Trump protesters also took to the streets in Kansas City last night. Hundreds of demonstrators marched through to City Hall upset about the election results, saying Trump does not represent the America they know and love.
Missouri teachers are talking about Tuesday's election results with their students and what it means for their future. KOMU 8's Melissa Zigowitz is here in the studio. She visited a small mid-Missouri high school to get a feel for what's on everyone's mind.
I stopped by Russellville High School in Cole County today to talk with students and educators on what the conversations have been like since Tuesday. As election season comes to a close, conversations about a new president begin in the classroom.
Our teachers will do their best to explain the issues, but they'll keep their own feelings out of it.
Teachers are dealt with the task to ensure each child understands what's going on. A task Mitchell says teachers try to remain as neutral as possible on.
And we have impressionable young kids in our building, and it's not our job to tell them who to vote for. It's our job to educate them on the issues.
One student says teachers have surprisingly remained quiet about the election.
Every teacher that we have do not want to talk about it, and they don't want to lean one way or the other. They want to keep it balanced.
Another student says his government teacher did not talk much about the outcome of the presidential election.
He was more telling us that we should be more worried about our local elections, things that affect us individually.
But that doesn't mean there isn't talk about the outcome of the election in the hallways.
We've had some concerns that, keep a watchful eye on the tone and the things that some of our students say. If they hear students say things that may be ignorant of, they need to teach them why those things are inappropriate to say.
Mitchell says talks both in and outside of the classroom have remained calm, and he has not seen any problems so far. If a student does feel offended or harassed by a student's comments, they can anonymously report the incident to him. In the studio, Melissa Zigowitz, KOMU 8 News.
Here's what's happening right now. A Mid-Missouri organization is celebrating 25 years and another big milestone tonight. KOMU 8's Hannah Hussman is live in Jefferson City from Habitat for Humanity's newest edition.
I'm at the River City Habitat for Humanity's 100th home, where the dedication ceremony is set to start in just a few minutes. Now, River City is the Jefferson City branch of the national nonprofit organization, and it's celebrating 25 years. Now, I spoke with the new homeowners earlier today. Judy McCombs and her grandson Gage have been a large part of the building process over the last 100 days. McCombs volunteered well over 350 hours to make sure her home was built in time. She said owning the new house means a lot to her family.
Oh my God, it's a blessing. I mean, it's give us security, it's our own, it give us a place to call our own.
I also spoke with the family support partner who said Habitat for Humanity sold the home to McCombs on an interest-free 25-year mortgage. The house payments will help fund future Habitat for Humanity homes. Reporting live from Jefferson City, Hannah Hussman, KOMU 8 News.
A former Southeast Missouri prosecutor and judge is the new municipal judge in Ferguson. Judge Terry Brown takes over 2 years after the police shooting death of Michael Brown. A white police officer shot and killed the black teenager during a confrontation which led to weeks of protests. The Justice Department found patterns of racial bias in Ferguson's policing and municipal court system. A police officer was killed and another wounded in a shooting near the Pittsburgh area. This morning, the 52-year-old officer died while responding to a domestic situation. This is the 7th U.S. police officer to be shot and killed in the past 8 days. The other Pittsburgh officer is in stable condition. China's Vice Minister for Public Security, Meng Hanwei, was elected president of the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, today. Meng is the first Chinese officer to be elected to that position and takes over from Morelli Balazrazi from France. Interpol is the second largest international organization after the United Nations.
Police have confirmed 6 men and 1 woman died in a London tram crash. It also injured more than 50 people. One victim of the crash has been named as 19-year-old Dane Chinnery. It's believed to be the first fatal tram crash in the UK since 1959. And Iraqi forces battled ISIS fighters today south of Mosul. These soldiers are part of a Shiite militia controlled by Iraq's Interior Ministry. Their commander said they're preparing to advance toward the Mosul airport. ISIS has moved concrete walls onto the airport runways to prevent planes from landing there. The sun was shining today, but it felt more like fall out there. Let's check in with Tori for a first look at your forecast.
Hey, thanks a lot, Brittany. It was another very sunny and slightly warmer one for us this afternoon. Actually, taking a look at temperatures right now, a lot of us are still hanging around the upper 50s and lower 60s. It's 57 for both Macon and Moberly. We're at 60 here in Columbia, a warm 64 degrees still at the Lake of the Ozarks. And that's all thanks to a lot of this sunshine and fairly breezy winds still remaining out of the southwest that we've experienced throughout the day today, anywhere right now from around 7 to 10 miles per hour. Those are going to be fairly breezy for at least the next couple of hours or so. But if we take a look at temperatures for the rest of the evening, we're still going to be back into the middle and lower 50s. These temperatures are going to look more like our afternoon high temperatures, actually, if we take a look at the rest of the weekend. So a little bit of a cool down in store, but we do have a warm up on the way, and finally, maybe some rain to talk about. So we'll look at the next 8 days coming up in a few minutes.
Tori, thank you very much. A new study says skip the soda. Later in your health, the dangers of sugary drinks.
Plus, new evidence about the impact of smoking, why lung cancer is not the only worry.
And you're taking a live look over the Missouri River at Roachport on this Thursday afternoon. It sure gets dark quickly, doesn't it? It's 5:09. This is KOMU 8 News, first at 5. Coverage you can count on.